Nick came home early from work today, intending to surprise his wife. Unexpectedly, as soon as he opened the door to see, his wife gave him a surprise first. However, he did not come in to ruin their fun. Because science has proven that when you do sex, you will be startled and afraid that you will have an erection that will not be able to get an erection later. Nick went downstairs to discover that the buttons belonged to his boss. Such a high-ranking character shouldn't be bothered. He had to drive absent-mindedly on the street so that the two could freely have sex. Who would have thought that while waiting for the green light, a gun muzzle was pointed at his head? I'm a robber. I have a bank account, a supermarket account, a bus account. What are your passwords? Can you hear me? Or selectively deaf? Nick sneered. Dude, I chose the wrong person today. After saying that, despite the red and green lights, he rushed through the intersection like a wind, and locked the car door, making the black man afraid of 3 souls and 7 souls, swearing. The more he moved Nick, the more passionately he stabbed through alleys like his own yard. In front of them was a truck loading goods. The black man happily said Nick had to stop this time. Unexpectedly, Nick drove his car through the pile of goods straight out. You ask black people want money. This is for you. After saying that, conveniently throw away the wallet and go out on the street. That's money. I also have a spray bottle of millet here, do you need it? Nick has been driving for decades without knowing it. The black man was afraid to cry. This place is not a shadow of a person that even a mouse has. Could he be a cold-blooded killer? Big brother, I was wrong. I have an 80-year-old mother, a 3-year-old child, please forgive me this time. But no matter what Nick said, he didn't care. Finally, he stopped the car at a service station. The black man was so scared that his legs softened, took out a gun, gave it to the black man and told him not to see him again. He was going to take the car home, but the car that passed was all dirt trucks. People passing by didn't even look at him. I had no choice but to go back and cling to Nick. He was still thinking about how to ease their relationship. When the waiter came to send the bill, Nick touched his pocket. Where was the wallet? The Negro said, I'll have this coffee, and pulled out $20. Now you have no money, no card, no identification, just take me back. I'll fill up the gas tank for you. Okay. Nick didn't know what else to do, so he reluctantly agreed. While refueling, he thought back to the scene of the wedding couple, lost in thought to come out and wet their shoes. As soon as I turned to look for him, I saw a black man continuing to practice. Think if you don't run away now, when will you wait? Unexpectedly, the black guy pulled out the car keys first. Nick asked him to pay back the old place. If he didn't pay, he wouldn't go anywhere. At that moment, the owner of the restaurant fired a shot, causing him to quickly step on the gas and run away. Unexpectedly, after walking for a while, the shop owner also chased after him. They ran in front, the owner with a shotgun ran behind. The police who heard the gunshots also came to join in the fun. Nick was afraid of being caught, so he quickly turned around and ran towards the owner of the restaurant. The black man was so scared he almost peed his pants. The owner of the restaurant also made a sharp turn or hit the police car. Just escaped. Nick lost his temper and scolded the black man going to rob without bringing a brain. Just keep doing it like that. You will have to come in and eat in prison one day. So you said go and rob, right? How? At least wear a mask or disguise. How much do you get when you rob a grocery store? You have to rob people with a lot of money, like me, who not only know the password of the boss's safe but also know the company's security system and the patrol time of the security team. If I go to rob then, wait, anyway, the boss has already robbed my wife. Should I rob him of his money? The black man heard that he was going to rob his boss, immediately asked to join the team, while his face was thick with threats. Threatened, if not allowed to denounce him, then Nick reluctantly accepted. The two got into the car and headed back to the city. In the middle of the road, the black man said there was a spider on his head. Nick heard that, too scared to jump out of the car, jump in panic, accidentally stepping on them with a cigarette butt afire. So his shoe soaked in gasoline from the afternoon suddenly became the brightest in the night. He had to continue dancing to the rhythm of cha-cha-cha with fire shoes. The black man saw that laughing like a good season, and took out his camera to record a video. If this was posted on Facebook, it must have reached millions of views. After the dance, the two continued on their way back. When passing the gas station, Nick was afraid that his black friend would have an occupational disease, so he confiscated his gun and went to pay. But the shop owner saw the shoes, his smoke and the gun in his belt, thought he was going to steal, so he took a step ahead and pulled out a long gun. When he was about to call the police, Nick decided to counterattack. I just came to fill up with gas. Is it necessary to do this? I won't steal your money either. Brother confiscated his gun for fear. He was also a bit feisty, always adding some snacks. As soon as he went out, the black man called him a fake who wouldn't let himself rob and then went to rob werewolves in sheep's clothing while they were waiting for gas. They were targeted by 2 real robbers. They thought there was who dares to charge protection fees in their own territory, so they blocked Nick's way, intending to teach them a lesson. Unexpectedly, he grabbed the gun and threatened it back. The black man saw that excitedly holding a gun and waving his arms and legs to scare the robbers that they would accidentally hit Nick. Why did you hit me? I'm sorry. The gun was stolen, but it's okay. Everything is under control. To prevent thieves from driving after them, the nigger shot through their tires and drove away. Halfway there, Nick said, he didn't feel well. This whole arm seemed to have lost all feeling, so he hurriedly lifted his shirt to see the wound, admitting it was a real injury. The Negro turned to look at. Oh my, it's serious. I need to go to the hospital urgently. This time, the Negro did as Nick said and stole 2 hoods and stuffed them in his crotch. Why is it so big? The employee rolled her eyes at the black man. At exactly 8 o'clock in the evening, the two began to act. The black man threw rocks and broke the glass outside to attract the attention of the security guards and then slipped inside. There was a camera in the elevator, so they had to climb the stairs, climbing all 15 floors, both exhausted. I'm ahead, I'll win. You're showing off with bare hands? Never mind, I've won in general. The two came to the office door, who expected the password to enter forever. Incorrect. How come I just took a day off work and they already changed my password? Fortunately, the black man was a master at breaking the lock, and in the blink of an eye, he opened the door. Nick was bewildered. You're so good, why don't you go do something else and steal? It's all fate. They chatted as they went to the boss's office. The black man gathered the camera and took the money before leaving. Nick was still not satisfied, so he reached his middle finger in front of the camera, turned his head and saw the decoration that his boss loved the most, so he grabbed the long sword next to it and cut it off. This is how you end up messing with me. Sooner or later I'll peel something from you. The two were just about to leave to find a security guard to come check. They frantically looked for a place to hide, thinking that the guards usually just look over and leave. Unexpectedly, the security guard saw the clock speakers, so he got excited and danced jubilantly. I thought he would only dance for a few minutes, but as long as the music is still on, more than an hour has passed. The security guard danced until sweat soaked Nick's shirt and fell asleep. Then finally, after a few hours of passionate dancing, the security guard also left, waiting for him to leave. The two of them took the money to the hotel. Looking at the pile of money in front of him, the black man was excited as if he had just inhaled drugs, but Nick was not happy, because even though he got revenge, he still felt sad in his heart. He went down the street to use the phone to call his wife. He spoke frankly about what he saw yesterday. His wife said that those two were her sister and her boyfriend, but she was not at home at that time. If you don't believe it, go back and see. They are still at my house. Then the boss's shirt button was on the table. Didn't he drop it at our house on Christmas? Is that just a misunderstanding? Oh come on, it's dead. Nick hurried back up to the elevator floor that had just opened. He saw the silhouettes of two acquaintances. How did they come here? When I got back to my room, something happened. The black man was sitting on the balcony looking at the sky and earth. They couldn't call for help anymore. They had to chase the other two robbers to get the money back. Nick opened the door and grabbed the bedsheet, but still couldn't hold it. Fortunately, the god of death hadn't come to work yet, so he let the black man fall on the balcony downstairs. The two immediately had a meeting and went to get the money back together. A driver, a sniper. That's how you can stop the robbers. The two sides aimed their guns at each other. Now it's just to see which side is more daring. Nick said he was married, there was nothing to be afraid of, and then shot down the enemy's gun. They saw that he was playing so recklessly, so he surrendered. In the end, they were tied up. The police heard the gunfire, so they chased them, seeing that these two were criminals who were wanted. That was a big gift. Meanwhile, Nick convinces the Negro to pay back. To thank the black man, Nick introduced him to a company that allowed the black man to work in the security management department. The film shows us that all misunderstandings stem from a husband and wife's discord, so when facing any problem, we must ask for clarification.